Hi, how are you today? This is Jilly Bling. I have another project to share using Honeybee Home Bundle. And here's the project. So it fits into an envelope just fine. Isn't that cute? Then on the back, there's a little bit on the back. So this is today's project. Let's make this one. Honeybee Home is a stamp set. Looks like my light is flickering a little bit. I hope you can't see that. Well, now it's behaving. Okay, Honeybee blooms, meadow, and at first I was thinking I'd use meadow just for these little ovals for the flower centers, but then I was looking for a stem, and what's right here? Perfect stem. Stitched rectangles is for this piece right here. Okay. Here's the pieces. We'll be using the daisy punch, glossy dots assortment. These are in the annual catalog. We can get them right now. And I haven't used them. Well, it looks like maybe I did a few, but I used these Daffodil Delight ones. And all these papers, we'll do this in just a minute. But this is the designer paper. The black and white designer paper is in the annual catalog, and it is called Perfectly Penciled. So we will be using the dots, the stripes, and little flowers. And this paper is very nice. I love black and white though. But it seems to have a background of black, including the stripes, or a background of white, which you could color in. It's beautiful paper. That's pretty. So that is what kind of decorates this project. Because if it was just the Daffodil Delight and just plain black cardstock, that would be kind of boring. But this certainly isn't boring. As a matter of fact, I was thinking I have too many patterns going on. But I figure since most of them have the black background, it kind of goes together. But in the end, I end up loving it. Okay, this is for the stem. So for the dies, and this is from the Meadow dies, I'll be using this floral one right here. But all I'm interested in is getting the stem. And you could get about 3 pieces out of this one paper. So 1, 2, 3. Just a minute, I think I have them done. Here they are. And it doesn't matter how much of the top you get because most of that will be cut off. And another thing is like this piece is really small. This one's a little bit bigger. And then I put the third one on the back. So we're going to need 3 stems and 3 flowers. And then of course there's the 3 bees. Okay, so these are done. And what else do we have here? Punch. This is a punch, paper for the punch. Let's punch out 3 daisies. I don't know if I can use that. Do you try to use every little scrap? I do. I drive myself crazy sometimes. Okay, 3 flowers. And this is for the words right here. And this is in stitched rectangles. So the little white piece perfectly fits in after I run this through my machine. But before you run it through, we're going to need this little oval. We're going to need 3 of those. And just run them through here because this is completely covered. So you might as well make use of the paper. So get 3 of those. Hold on. Okay, you're like, but you did 4. But that's because I did the whole card and then I realized I need something for the back. And just putting a bee back there wouldn't do it. So I had to put another flower. So I kind of took it out of this one. Okay, so that's a stitch rectangle. This is going to be covered. And pieces, see, look at that. Who knew? The bees, so I have the bees done, almost done. So there's 3 different bees and there's 3 dies to cut them out. Okay, I have most of the bees done. So I did black Versamark and then black embossing powder, and we'll color this one in. So those are the bees. This is for the back. Let's make the card. We'll come back to all these pieces in just a minute. And I do have tricks on assembling the card. So before you put it together, hold on just a minute until we get to that point, because it does make a difference. Okay, so for making the card, if you know me and my templates. And I'll leave these here for just a minute. Make sure you could see it. So there's 2 templates. Okay, you could see that. The first one is for this big base paper, and then the second one is for this piece right here. Cut it to 5 1/2, score it at 1/2, 3/4, 3, and 4 1/4. And I'll leave this here, and I'll take a picture of these 2 templates, put them on my blog. And my blog is jillybling.com. And then, so you don't have to write it down if you don't want to. And it'll take me just a few days and I'll get them on my blog. The second template is cut to 4 by 4 1/4. And it's scored at 1/2 inch and 1 3/4. So on this paper, these 2 Daffodil Delight papers, I'm going to do the scoring. Okay, so let me make sure I have this going the right way, because this way is just a little bit shorter. Because that's 4 inches. We want to score at 4 1/4. That's where we want to score the 1/2 inch. Okay. 1/2 inch, 1 3/4. And then this one, add 1/2 inch, 1 3/4, 3, 4 1/4. Okay, scoring is done. So do you ever see something, a layout, and you're like, I like that? So I just take scrap paper and I kind of roll it up, hoping that those measurements are close enough. And then this one, you could tell I tried a few times. It's like, okay, if this goes here, then like that. That's how I come up with the templates. Kind of a mess, but it's okay, it works. Okay, so the templates I'll put up, and I will take pictures of these when I take pictures of the finished product. Okay, so this one, let's get to folding this one. So it's pretty much in half right there. And then these are all 1 1/4 inch. And that's a 1/2 inch. Then it's just putting the designer paper onto them. Okay, and then there's this one, the little one. And what's nice is it folds up into a regular envelope. Okay, so this goes onto the back before we assemble it. Right in the middle. Okay. And then there's this little 1/2 inch, and the stripes go on the next two. So that gets glued. So here is where there'll be adhesive, just to make sure. So last night Tony goes, "Oh, I think I'm getting sick." And he doesn't get sick that often. And then he started having a cough. It was like in 10 minutes from just fine to, "You don't feel very good, huh?" And this morning, he's full on, he's sick. Oh, I hope that I don't get it. It's like he's at work right now, working outside, all amongst himself. And I'm thinking, don't come home for a while. I don't want to be sick. So, okay, just to make sure. Yep, that's looking good. So let's put the designer piece on here. So the polka dotted piece, I'm going to use that die. Oh, here's my little stitched rectangle die. I could have cut it to the exact right size, but I like the stitching on it. And it cuts it perfectly. So that will go on here. Right here, right in the middle of this panel. Okay, so for assembling, let's work on that. We'll work on the base part first. So on this little flap right here is where I'm going to put liquid glue. And I like to use liquid glue when I'm making something that has movement, because liquid glue stays really good. Okay, and before I attach it, I'll show you a way to know how to attach it once you're at home. I'll show you here. But if it folds up, see how that off perfectly fits into an envelope? That means that the fold, I'll be seeing only one striped panel. So one striped panel right here. Fold this down, then close it. Okay, and if you're in doubt, give it just a second where you could still pull it up. But that's what you want, just like that. Okay, so that piece is done. So now for the next piece. And I don't know, when I did it the first time, I don't know why I struggled with it, but figured it out, but I'm going to make it easy for you. So the next piece, we're going to put adhesive right on here, this little 1/2 inch flap. I had to pull it up. I don't even know if you can notice on my card. Okay, so when you pull it up, or when you're going to attach it, I'm going to close this. So I know I want the fold right above the designer paper piece, just like that. Then, see how this top bit, this piece right here, is right against the card top? There's my glue piece. I'm going to have that right against the card top. And I have it off to the side a little bit. So I'm looking at it to line it up here. Okay. And then just push it down. Because end result, you want it to fit in an envelope. And if you don't do it this way, if you just say, "Oh, thereabout is fine," your fold lines won't be right. It just kind of makes a mess of everything. Okay, so now it's attached just by this piece right here only. That little 1/2 inch panel. So next, we're going to put adhesive a little bit on here and a little bit on there. I would say you could put it all over this, but you won't know where to stop. So if you do a little bit right here, and a little bit right here. Oop, there's a dog knocking, wanting to come in. He has to wait a minute. I'm gluing. Then I'm going to make sure, and I'm trying to keep it thin, because after I let go, I want it to hang on. So now I have a bit of glue right here on this panel and a bit of glue. Can you see that? Yeah, right across here. Then set it down. Just wait a second. Before it has too much of a chance to dry, let's make sure that the glue didn't squirt out and it's holding the whole thing closed. See how there's still movement? We're good. So I'm just going to let that set to dry. Oop, he went away. Okay, so should we start on the flowers or the words? How about, what do I have first here? Looks like we're going to do flowers, which is kind of the most fun. Okay, so your little daisies. Oh, if I had the black paper underneath, you could see well. And I'm going to cut, and I would say right in the middle, but if you can, I'm going to go to the higher side. Here, when I set this down, you'll know what I'm talking about. You could cut right in the middle, it's fine. But see how there's a little bit of a bump over here, and then a little bit of a bump over here? That will help me in placing the flower in just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to do all three of them because I like to assembly line stuff. And then we will color one of the bees. And the previous project, I took time to show you about coloring. And I was hoping I didn't drive you crazy. But I had a few comments where people are like, oh, okay, maybe I'll try watercoloring. So I know it was a good thing to take the time to show you. But this is the first card. And that's just done with the blends using the same bundle. And then this is the last one where we took time to do the watercoloring. But we'll do just a little bit, but I won't go into explaining as much as I did on that last card. Okay, so for these, let's get to, do you notice that little yellow daffodil hue? And this here, let's get to coloring those. So, take this, and we're going to use daubers. And Daffodil Delight and Mango. Let's start with the daffodil. I've got my daffodil dauber. Just get a little bit on your dauber. The less ink that's on your dauber, the softer your coloring is going to be. So these here, it's pretty soft and it's very graduated where it goes from daffodil to white. And then that one too. So if you were to go directly from the stamp pad onto here, see how that's really freckled, spotted? And the less ink you have on it, the softer it gets. I'm going to hold on right here and just put a little bit of color on. Okay, now do this one. And you probably noticed there's getting less ink, but see how this one is just a little bit softer? And with all those crazy patterns of the black and white, kind of need a little bit of white on this project. That's why I added the bow. It's like, oh, everything's kind of getting lost in here. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit too light. Yep, that's a little bit too dark. See how that one's really dark now? It's not very soft. I'll hold them up close, just a minute. The middle one is perfect. I like that one. So today, Mama and I, we are going to go out, get our nails done. It's time. She's like, I want to do a pedicure this time too. So we are doing the works. Okay, this one's too dark. That's a medium one. So they're just a little bit different. And that's just fine. The dark one is just fine. And then the light one, I really like that one. Okay, so we're done with that part. Okay, so now for these little flower center thingies. I'm not sure what the intent was for the meadow die set, but it's working perfect for a flower center. So this is Mango Melody, and this is my Mango Dauber. So on this, I'm going to purposely try to go just around 3 of the edges and leave part of it with no color on it. That dog is, I could tell he's smiling. Oh, just a minute. You want to come in? Smile. Okay. Yeah, you're a good boy. Okay, good night. Okay, so it's so tiny. Maybe I should hold it with my scissors. Okay, that'll do. So we're going to build the flower right now, but give you just a little caution. When you put liquid glue onto, well, here, let me show you a good example. When you put liquid glue onto something that's been colored, like this right here, the liquid glue kind of reactivates the pigments in the ink, and it can distort our soft sponging. So if I were to put liquid glue and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I don't want it there. If I were to take this and try to take it off, it smears all of our soft coloring technique. So when you look at this, where I moved the liquid glue, it took all the pigment from the ink, brought it all over to this little area here, and that no longer is soft looking. So if you're aware of that, it's no problem. But if you're not, you might run into a little trouble. Okay, so let's build the flower. I'll put it on here so you could see everything. And the petals, remember how I had you cut them at like a little bit high over here and then right against the petal? That's because we're going to take these and kind of stagger the petals so that it has a full fan. And it's okay if it's not perfect, just perfect. But the staggering helps out with that. And then this flower center will cover it up right here. So I was hearing a noise outside and I'm wondering, is that Tony coming home sick? But I don't think so. Okay, so I'm going to put just a hint of liquid glue on these, and I know that, actually I have to do it on all of them, all 6 pieces. I know that this will be covered, so if the liquid glue distorts my beautiful sponging, it's okay because it'll be hidden. So just a little bit on each one of them. Then I'm looking at which ones do I like best. I'm going to put the darker one below. Pick this up, kind of arrange your petals, and let it sit for just a minute. And I'm fine with this big old gap here because Mother Nature is perfectly imperfect. Imperfections. Okay, one more. That one's, just that one's a little crazy. And there we go. Okay, so that part is done. Now this part, the mango sponged bottom will go to the inside part of the flower. And I'm thinking this light part is where the sun hit the flower top. And if you really look at these flowers, by no means are they perfect, because kind of missed all that down there, but when you look at the finished product, it just is as cute as can be. So I'm pretending like I planned it that way. Yeah. So every time we go in to do our nails, for me it's like I'm all over the board picking nail. Well, you know, I pick every color, any color. And Mama has a few color families she goes in. She goes for more of the elegant, the beige brown colors, or the red colors. So today will be exciting to see who does what. I have no idea, but I'm not going to show you my toes. No. A little bit of glue. That's okay. So this goes on the back. Since I have this here, I'll just attach that. Whenever I use liquid glue, it seems like the card is a little bit stiff and more substantial. So I like to mix in a little bit of adhesive and a little bit of liquid glue. Oh, we have to do the words too. So I was about to use Memento ink and color them in. Then I thought, you know what? This card needs a little bit of, it's bold. It needs a little bit more bold. Therefore, it gets heat embossing. Okay, that's just fine. Okay, so we can do, let's do the words. So this one I did best of luck because Luke and Jessica, today, they're on their way to Kentucky. They packed up everything, they're renting their house, they tried to sell most of their furniture. They're driving there. I mean, they're following their heart. So, best of luck. Miss you. We'll go visit them in a few months after they get a little bit more settled. But kind of proud of them for just, you know what? We're tired of it. We're gonna do something. So that was, I was thinking for them. This one, how about, I know I keep using it, but I love the Stay Wonderful. The bees are kind of wonderful, right? Stay Wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to do that in Versamark. Make sure they're not sticking to my paper there. And I probably should do the inside too. I'll do that in a minute. Stay Wonderful. I don't know if it's straight up and down or at an angle. That one, on the box they picture it straight, words going this way. I know the best of luck, that one the words were going at an angle. They look good, but I had to figure it out. Okay, get this in black powder. Well, that's kind of a mess. I should have used my bunny. Hold on. I'm going to wipe it. Don't tell anyone. Let's try this side with Embossing Buddy. This is a new one. It's got lots of stuff in it. Okay, maybe get a little bit of the excess off. Okay, let's Stay Wonderful again. I have a few friends I'd say this to. It's not like get wonderful or you are wonderful. It's like just stay how you are. Oh, that's better. Okay, so if ever you have a fine line words or image that you're embossing and you're like, I'm afraid that once I put the heat tool to it, it's going to blow all of the powder away. I have a trick for you. That is to heat it from the underside. because the heat tool has just a little bit of wind, and I don't want to lose any of those granules. And you could see it works just fine. And you know, if ever you've worked with heat and stick powder, that's like a really grainy product. It's kind of fun. But that seems to just blow everywhere. So if you have your tabletop and you do heat and stick powder, even though you knocked off all the excess, that stuff ends up like you could touch it and it's like, where did this come from? Anyhow, so if you do that one upside down, it works out really well. Okay, all those little holes, and cover them up. I didn't mean to make 4, but I didn't have any daffodil paper laying around. Any extra, everything was already cut for this project. Okay, Stay Wonderful, that's going to go here. Should I put it on? I'm going to put it on. So where my fingers are, no dimensionals go. Uh-oh, it's 10 o'clock. I need to be picking up Mama in just a few minutes. Okay, I'm going to go fast. I think we're almost done. How did I get 2? Okay, so this could go right here. Okay, let's do the watercoloring. See, now I'm kind of rushing. So the watercoloring, I'm going to do that with a little smoky slate, balmy blue, mango melody, and daffodil. You're probably like, that's a whole lot of colors for one tiny bee. But the bee looks good. And for one bee, you need very little ink. So like I said in the previous video, I showed about watercoloring. Not that it's that hard, but a few people said, I've always been scared of watercoloring. I might be able to do it. So if you're one of those that's scared of watercoloring, check out that video. A little bit of balmy. And the gray, I didn't do that in the previous one, but I looked up online, what does a bee look like? Because I was just doing the whole thing yellow, and I thought something is off about that. And he has, like, his body is half yellow and black. It's those two, those colors, the colors combined. And it's not like this, well, you know what, let me try something. Because on the images from Google, they have this kind of striped down here. And you know, I'll tell you, these little bees are looking really realistic. And I guess bees kind of scare me. I don't know. But I'm trying to embrace it, not think about them. Think about how cute the flower is, the card is. But I don't know. Oh, I didn't do this one. So, Stay Wonderful. Oh, I didn't cook it all the way. I think it's okay. Stay Wonderful. And then there's something about nicest. Such happy news. You're the nicest. Can you tell I'm rushing? I think I told Mom I'd pick her up at 10:15. So, I think it's okay. But if we're doing a mani and a pedi, that means that we'll be there for 2 hours. Maybe they can, if they want our payment, they might have to wait just a little bit. I can't believe I didn't cook that "You're Wonderful" all the way. Maybe I'll try a little more. Okay, so since we're here, let's do this part. That's going to go there. And the little flower is going to go on this middle one. Maybe it could go shorter. Okay, so cut that off. Just thin glue so it'll dry quick. And this one right here, I'm going to have the flower kind of tuck into that one. Okay, and big dimensional. Right in the middle. Then, this is the one I left. I love the combination of the bright colors with the granny apple. Okay, there's that. This, last time I put it there like it was kind of a specimen. Like, you know how you'd put the code, the number down under here? But this one, I don't know, he's starting to kind of creep me out. I'll put him on there before I get creeped out. So I just keep loving him. Okay, he's going to go here at an angle. Okay, so that's good. Maybe because I've had a few too many yellow jacket and bee sting bites, and I don't like it at all. It hurts. Not that, keep in mind, I don't mess with them. I'm scared of them, but at this point right here, it's still cute. That's nice. Okay, so to build the front, there's this one and a shorter one. And I'm going to kind of put them together so I could put the bow on it. I'm going to stick down just the bottom part right now. And then I'll lift it and stick down the rest of it. And I might have to trim the top part. Those look really, that's like a duplicate. Okay, hold on. This one's going to be shorter. Okay, that's better. Maybe. Yeah, that's better. Okay, and these flowers, this one, be leaning this way. Do it just like that. A little bit of glue and a dimensional. Oh, I have to put the gems on too. And then this one, I love how it's sticking up, but I want it to fit into the envelope. So it needs to be a little bit shorter. Oh, it's a shame to lose that nice little stem. I'm trying to make it a little bit rounded. Because it has to fit in the envelope. Okay, so that's sticking out just a little bit, but it's okay. Because the envelope is just a smidge bigger. Okay, and a double bow. I think I did a triple bow. Let's do a triple. This is thin. And I do have a video on making double bows. Because they're so cute. Triple bow. Kind of fluff it up a little bit. Yeah, I need to get my nails done. Make them shorter. Go right there in the middle. Trim up these ends. Okay, and then attach a few little bees. I kept on wanting to put them right above the flower, but again, it won't fit in the envelope. Could put it down there. But I think when you're looking at the card like this, it works just fine. Okay, and then the gems, where are those? The sparkle, the glossy dots. So I'm gonna do 3 of them. Okay, there it is. Hope you like it. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you have a great day. I have 2 more projects to do with Honeybee Home, so they're coming soon. Okay, bye.